Derek Joyce, and I'm here with Paula Morda, and this is I'm Not the Expert, but this is a podcast where we discuss everything from quantum physics to the latest episode of South Park and everything in between. So grab a cup of tea, pull up a chair and join us.
I was really gratified about you texting and saying you were walking past a pharmacy and what they had what in the window. You sent me a text the other day and you said, and I quote,
I do remember something, yeah.
Going past the dental place in the village they have an electronic sign saying root canals, fillings and caps. And you thought, oh my.
Oh my.
I told you it was I told you it was flyer of a title.
Yeah.
It worked great.
Root canals and fillings and caps, oh my.
Yeah.
Root canals, fillings and caps, oh my.
Yeah, it works for anything that is a three item list.
That was on the bus, yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. This is the final part of our Halloween extravaganza.
Zombies and werewolves and vampires, oh my.
Vampires. I don't know why it happened in this order. I mean, it could have been any. Could have been werewolves and zombies and vampires, or vampires and zombies and werewolves, or blah, blah, blah.
Saving the best for last, I think. This is, I'm not a huge horror movie fan, as I've said in the other episodes, and stuff, but vampires are probably, of the three things that we've talked about, vampires is the one I would have a passing interest in.
Vampires are definitely the most popular.
Yeah.
I think. I would bet. If someone said to me, if I was on, what's that stupid fucking show that Les Dennis used to do? Survey says... Family Fortunes. Yeah. If I was on that and they said, what's the most popular monster? I would say vampire.
I would have said Godzilla.
I don't know if I'd be correct.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Genre of monster, not individual wrecking shit up.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, that's a fairly good point, actually. When I say I'm more into vampires, I'd be more into Dracula as opposed to, say, Twilight or what's the other one? Interview with a Vampire, which is not a bad movie. It's a great book, I believe. I haven't read it. I'd be much more into that kind of traditional, Dracula.
We briefly went over Interview with a Vampire in Werewolves.
I think we mentioned it, yeah.
Yeah, but we were talking about how weird it was, how they lingered too long on the costume drama angle.
I think so, yeah. Like, I get it. It's the vampire telling the journalist about, the
100-year-long story. Yeah.
And he's lived for 300 years. But, yeah, I mean, that could have been a great vampire movie kind of, set in modern times New York. Like, that could have been a really good fucking movie.
Yeah, but the whole thing was the longevity of his lifespan.
Of his life, yeah. No, I understand that, yeah. But I'm just not into period dramas.
No.
At all.
No, I really don't like them. And they're just weird. They make them too camp. Yeah.
Sorry, Downton Abbey fans. I've never watched an episode.
If I could accurately describe how screwed up my nose is now because you said Downton Abbey, I can't stand that fucking thing.
It always reminds me, as I said, I've never watched an episode, but just, kind of, it filters into your conscious through pretty popular culture or whatever. I've always likened to me. Ma used to love watching Upstairs, Downstairs back in the day.
What was that, 70s, 80s?
Yeah.
It
sounds like the same kind of thing.
In my memory, but no.
Yeah, it sounds like the same kind of fucking thing anyway.
Yeah.
The fucking servants are downstairs and the lords and masters upstairs. Fuck off. Fuck right off.
Yeah.
Anyway, what the fuck has that got to do with vampires?
Nothing.
Right, let's get back on track.
Everybody knows what vampires are.
Most people, yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah. Fangs, slick back hair.
I want to suck your blood.
Everybody
knows about it.
1, 2.
Me saying it to you wasn't an invitation for you to throw an impression at me. But everybody knows what a vampire is.
Even Sesame Street has one.
Yeah.
There you go.
While we're on the topic, is the greatest vampire of all.
Who's the what?
The Count.
Yeah, Street. Probably. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. Or Dracula. I like Dracula.
Count Dracula. I have a T-shirt of that
Yeah,
upstairs.
I like Dracula. He was kind of cool.
Yeah, Count Dracula was great.
Vegetarian vampire duck.
He was great. He was just fucking brilliant. And they had a teleportation castle.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Was that Castlevania or was that something else altogether?
Castle.
Which, of course, comes from Transylvania in Romania.
Which
brings us back to Dracula.
Romania is the modern day Transylvania.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So everyone knows what a vampire is. He's a blood-sucking, bat-like fanged fucker that stalks the night looking for his victims.
Yeah. So he's basically Bruce Wayne with a bloodlust.
Vampires were also able to transform into wolves.
Yeah.
Which
and
I'm
bats.
sure pissed werewolves off no end. Because that's them horning in on our fucking angle, our little corner of the market.
That's our niche, yes. But come here, actually, I do have a question for you there. A long, long time since I read Dracula. I don't even know if I finished it. And does he turn into a bat at any stage in the book? Because I know in several of the vampire movies and stuff.
I don't remember it that well.
This whole thing of, sometimes they're bat-like, sometimes they are bats. Some of them can turn into bats, some of them don't. Is that a Hollywood invention, or is that?
I don't know.
Something that goes back to the origins.
Don't know.
Okay.
Well, it can't go back to the origins.
No, but you know what I mean. Okay, when I say the origins, Bram Stoker's Dracula is, that's where.
Yeah.
Its origin in popular culture.
Right.
Now I know we're going to get into the origin.
I don't remember it that well.
That inspired Bram Stoker later on in the show.
Yeah.
But,
I don't remember it that well.
It's a long, long time since I read it. Maybe time to revisit.
Okay. The whole allergy towards the sun and sunlight and all that kind of thing that vampires have, that's a pop culture.
Yeah.
Like when it came out, it was sun only weakened their powers.
Right.
Like, I mean, they were incredibly strong. They were able to transform into something else. They had mind control powers. They were really fast.
Right, okay.
That kind of thing.
That actually reminds me, we talked about this before back in season 1 on an episode, I don't know what it was about. But I remember there was a film, I think it was Dracula 2000, if I'm not mistaken. It was a fucking terrible movie.
I guarantee you I didn't see it.
It was an awful, awful movie, but I loved the fucking premise that they came up with, was that Dracula was actually Judas. Judas from the Bible?
Yeah.
Right?
I didn't think you meant Judas Priest, so yeah.
He betrayed Jesus for silver. That's why.
You said this.
They hate silver bullets. They're afraid of crucifixes because it reminds them of what they did.
Yeah.
And they're immortal because, as we know, Judas committed suicide after betraying Jesus.
I know nothing about Bible stories.
Yeah, but in the Bible story, he committed suicide. He hung himself. So as a punishment, God made him immortal. So he couldn't kill himself. And then he stalked the earth.
Is this is this a Bible story or is this
No, this is in the movie.
All right, okay.
Oh, sorry. I don't know if Judas actually killed himself in the Bible. But
I've never heard.
Have you never heard that? Okay,
never
heard
in
the movie he did. He hung himself, but he didn't die because God punished him and made him immortal. So he couldn't die.
Right.
Yeah, so that was the angle of it anyway. It was Judas. He had been wandering the earth for 2,000 years.
And he was the father of all vampires.
Yeah, of all vampires, yeah. That was an interesting premise, but the movie was absolute dog shit.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a fucking load, all right. So I read that the sunlight diminished the vampires' powers and didn't kill them.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm sure that was amped up to 11.
Yeah.
For better storytelling.
Yeah, well, you have to sleep in coffins and stuff during the day.
Yeah,
it's an interesting twist.
Yeah, so there is a modicum of safety for people, and that's during the day.
So are you saying then Twilight got it closer to the original vampire
I
thing?
know nothing about Twilight because I never saw it.
I've never seen it either, but I do know one of its biggest criticisms is they sparkle in sunlight. Yeah, it makes them all like,
no, I don't
sparkly and glittery. That's what I was slagging the last day, was that their vampires don't sparkle.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. Now I get it,
yeah.
I don't even want to have that conversation.
Yeah, they sparkle in sunlight.
Terrible.
So, but there you go. I mean, you're saying that originally sunlight didn't kill them. So, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm sure it came from somewhere, but I'm sure some terrible idea. Why not have them sparkle? Was thrown about and they went, yeah, okay. And someone threw money at it and then it became a thing.
Although funny enough though,
now
from what I've heard,
now it's a part of history.
Yeah, what I've heard from a lot of people who I do respect as readers The novels are supposed to be really, really good.
I
Just the
will
movies
take
are
your word for it.
shit. Yeah, I've never
Yeah,
done it.
not
I'm not a
really.
teenage girl. I'm not the fucking target market for it. If you're into that stuff, have at it. If you're a
Yep.
teenage girl and want to read
Totally.
it, absolutely.
So, as I said, they have numerous superpowers, depending on what movie you watch or what book you read. Okay?
Yeah, true, yeah.
Yeah. But generally, they have super strength, super speed. They can sexify the shit out of their victims, especially if it's a sexy, bosomy, slim-waisted honey.
They can sexify the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Explain. Do you mean they can sexify the shit out of them?
They can sexify the shit out of them.
Well,
They can
make them
mesmerize
sexy.
them. Jesus, well, have you no lexicon of vocabulary around like that?
Sexify.
It's a word that was made up by me and probably a few 100,000 other people.
Okay.
Sexify.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Haven't heard that word before.
Sexify.
I've heard of objectify.
Sexify. So, if you weren't slim-waisted, bosomy, sexy maiden,
Right.
you'd just be killed
You'd
and
just be
turned
meat.
into
Yeah. You'd be blood.
Dracula's or the vampire's slave.
Right,
All right.
okay.
The way Tom Waits was in Bram Stoker's Dracula the movie.
I've got to watch that. I've never watched a whole lot of it. I really want to watch it. And I
It's
love
not
Gary
bad.
Oldman.
It's not
Fucking
bad.
love Gary Oldman.
Yeah,
I'm watching a lot of his movies lately.
He's brilliant.
He's probably the
He's
greatest
brilliant,
living actor,
yeah.
I think, isn't he? You know, he's just amazing in everything he's in.
Yeah. Average looking people like me had the
And
shit
me.
killed out of them.
Mm,
Okay? There was no chance for us.
no.
Even a boob job wouldn't save me.
So we don't get to be vampires, we just get dead.
No, we get slave
Oh, okay.
to vampires. Like you're just kept on the lower
Mm,
keel of
yeah.
of slavery and
Yeah.
eating
Oh,
bugs
like Igor.
and insanity and that. Igor was awesome. Go and watch Young Frankenstein.
Oh, God, yeah, young
Yeah.
Frankenstein.
Igor was awesome.
Yeah, who's serious?
No,
Yeah.
never saw it. That's not Young Frankenstein.
It is.
No, I've never seen that one.
Hmm.
I'm thinking of the Jim Wilder one.
Oh, I can't. Yeah, Young Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway,
maybe
look,
it's a
I'm
remake.
moving on.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's a remake.
It's a brilliant film, and you should watch it.
Right. I love Jane Wilder.
So vampires have no reflection, cast no shadow.
Yeah, the shadow thing I didn't know about. I knew the reflection.
No, I knew
Shadow
they
one's
cast no
interesting.
shadow. But I mean,
stands to reason they only operate in the dark anyway. So
but Moonlight cast
Yeah.
shadow. You know? Yeah, that's kind of a point that you didn't
Yeah,
really
but-
think that out, did you? Not you.
I'm just thinking though, isn't there a really famous scene in I think it's Bram Stoker's Dracula or one of them where he looks like, you know, a normal person or whatever, and then his shadow is monstrous. That's kind of like the hint of who he is, or the shadow looks like a bat or something. He is casting a shadow.
I think what you're thinking about is in the castle when he doesn't look like a normal fucking human being. He
Yeah,
looks like a
but-
withered old
Yeah.
prune with a fabulous haircut,
Yeah,
which is
a
weird.
bouffon. Yeah,
Yeah, and his shadow is cast there. Yeah, I remember
yeah,
that. But you know, it's interpretation.
it is.
You know,
yeah.
sometimes it fit the bill for him
Yeah.
to have a shadow, sometimes it didn't.
Yeah.
And they just said, memo at the beginning of shooting, he's a shadow in this film.
Exactly.
This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it's not Bram Stoker's Dracula, then, is it?
They've no reflection,
Yeah, I did know that.
which is a good job. They never got zits.
But
And
I never got zits.
I don't know how they managed their hair, which I suppose
Yeah.
is what the slaves were for. You know?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe the slave had to have a fucking certification in hairdressing. Yeah, but the most famous vampire was Count Dracula.
Obviously, yes.
He was thought to be based on Vlad the Impaler.
Yes.
Okay. There's
Count
also
Vladimir Dracula.
Irish vampire. There's the
Yes, well, I know one.
Our-
I don't know if we're talking about the same one.
Avartak. It's the Abhartach.
Okay, that's not the Irish vampire I'm thinking of.
What do you think?
Preacher.
Yeah.
Preacher, it's a comic book and also an Amazon series. I think it's Amazon. And we talked about this the other day. The guy in it called Cassidy.
I don't know. I have
Yeah.
no idea what you're talking about.
He's in the 1916 Rising. He overhears
Oh, yeah, I remember
Pierce
you
and
saying that,
Collins
yeah.
talking about the honourable blood sacrifice. He says, fuck this, I'm out of here.
No.
So he legs it down to Cork where he gets bitten by a vampire. And he eventually travels to America, but he's on the Irish Rover. Like he's sitting playing cards with, you know, fucking Dan McCann from the Banks of the Ban and whoever else they mention in that song, yeah? So obviously the ship sinks and he walks to America along the bottom of the sea.
Oh, yeah, you said that. Yeah.
Because he can't die, yeah?
Yeah,
But,
okay, that's not the one I'm talking
okay.
of.
Well,
Because
he's the Irish
it's
vampire.
where he came from.
He's an awesome
It's
character.
where the vampire that bit him came from.
Right, okay.
So people are saying that Dracula, created by Bram Stoker,
who was Irish. Anyway,
yeah, we know that. They say, you know, it mightn't have been Vlad the Impaler. That might have had an influence on it, but we've got our own vampire story in Ireland, which is called the Abertach or Abertach. The Abhartach.
Right, the Abertach.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's new.
Yeah, it is. So that's something for you to look up.
Cool.
But assuming, like Vlad the Impaler, and we're going to go through it, there are so many close associations in the Dracula's origin story that Bram Stoker created.
Yeah.
And Vlad the Impaler. For you to say, no, that's not his point. That's not his point of inspiration.
Yeah, no, it's common knowledge at this stage that it is, isn't it? Yeah.
It's so close.
Yeah.
And he was called Vlad Dracula or Dracul.
Yeah.
And that means, do you know what that means? Son of the Dragon.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Vlad III, which is Vlad the Impaler, was born between 1428 and 1431 to a Moldovan queen and Vlad II Dracul. His dad was Vlad II Dracul. It took me, before I go into his dad, it took me some effort to find out his ma's name.
Okay.
And that just points to how unimportant the woman was in historical stories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And she was a Moldovan princess, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, and her name's not even mentioned.
Jesus but Christ. She's not important.
That's
inverted commas. So her name was Eupraxia.
Eupraxia?
Yeah. Eupraxia.
Eupraxia. That's an interesting name.
So it's mad. Dracula, or Dracul, was son of the dragon.
Hey.
His dad, Vlad II Dracul, was given the name Dracul, which meant...
Dragon.
Yeah, that's really good work. Which is derived from the Latin Draco.
Right, okay.
Which means dragon.
Right, okay.
It was Vlad II was inducted into the Order of the Dragon by the Holy Roman Empire to defend against the Ottoman Empire, who were Muslims.
Yeah.
It was a whole religious...
A holy war.
Again, you know, and hasn't that been everything?
Interesting that they give them... Interesting that the Christians, or whatever you want to call them, are using a dragon as their symbol of, like, the Order of the Dragon. Wasn't the dragon seen as evil? You know, when St. George killed the dragon, wasn't it? Wasn't the dragon Satan? It's interesting.
I don't know. I honestly don't know because I didn't research. But maybe it's something that was big and scary and strong and fearsome, and that's what they were. That's what the order. That's the face it was putting out. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe it was. I don't know. The Vlads moved to Wallachia in 1436. Having Vlad as your second name would be pretty fucking cool.
First name.
Yeah.
Vladimir, it's their first name, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm referring to them as the Vlads.
Okay, right.
Yeah, that'd be fucking dead.
The Dracul style, the Draculs.
Yeah, well, you know, that'd get you a lot of credit in school, or it'd get you targeted. Just depends on what day of the week it is, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So they moved to Wallachia in 1436 when his father assumed leadership of that principality, which
Wallachia.
Was... Yeah, they were all...
So that's... That's Romania, Transylvania. Yeah.
Transylvania. Vlad II was summoned to a meeting by the Ottoman diplomats and took Vlad III and his brother with him so he could teach them life lessons. This is the politics of leadership.
Yeah.
And this is what I want you to pay attention for. So
he's
this guy who was inducted into the Order of the Dragon and given the name Dracul by the Holy Roman Empire was invited to a meeting by the Ottoman Empire, who were having their own thing around Europe.
Conquest of empires.
Yeah. Instead of a diplomatic shindig, the Vlads were captured and held hostage.
Surprise, surprise.
Dad Vlad agreed to leave his sons in the hands of the Ottoman nobles and return to Wallachia, and that assured his loyalty to the Ottoman Empire.
Okay, so similar to what the Japanese would have done in the samurai times. They would keep a hostage.
Yeah, but it ensures you're not going to, metaphorically speaking, stab us in the back because we've got your offspring.
Exactly, yeah. That's what they used to do in the kind of feudal Japan as well. Like both sides would exchange hostages.
Yeah.
to keep everything above board.
Well, living with the Ottomans, the sons received a great education, though some say they were subjected to brutality, they were imprisoned, and they were raped.
Oh, okay.
And some point to that.
The abuse that Vlad
the Third, we'll call him for now.
Yeah.
Who's going to become Vlad the Impaler, that pointed to where he got such a bloodlust
for revenge.
From the brutality that he was brought up with, I suppose. Because I don't know how old. 1436. Let's see if we can do the math on how old he was. They moved to Wallachia in 1436. Yeah.
Born in 1421, so he
1436.
was
No, he wasn't. He was born in 1428 or 31.
Right.
So let's say he was 5 years old.
Yeah, he was a kid.
When he went. So when he went to Wallachia, he was 5 years old. I don't know what date it was. He was invited to the Ottoman Empire, but he can't have been much older. He can't, like, if you want to say it was 5 years after that,
so
then
10.
he was 10 or 11,
Maybe.
but he's still really young.
Yeah.
Anything negative that would have happened to him then, that really coloured the rest of his life, if that's the case. It was only after receiving word of Dad Vlad's assassination that Vlad the Impaler, to be, I have in brackets, so he's not there yet, left to go back to his father's throne. The fact he left, or he was free to leave, where the sons left there and they'll be looked after and cared for, and they're free to roam.
No, well, they would have been kept within a castle or within,
yeah,
some
you're
kind
free.
Of a compound.
That's what I mean. You're free to roam, but
as in not locked in a cell.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah. Or and
well, that was the promise. Whether that was actually delivered upon now is another thing altogether.
This is it. And you've transgressed on and insulted someone, a noble somewhere, so it's fucking 30 days solitary confinement for you, or was that the way it was done?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Who knows?
It's open to interpretation. Off he goes back to Wallachia to assume his father's throne. This is the beginning of Vlad the Impaler that we all know. He's called, the Romanians nowadays, or in those days, called him Vlad Tepes.
Okay.
They love him. He's revered.
Yeah. What's fucking Tepes? What's that mean?
I don't know.
Okay.
They just call him Vlad
Tepes. Sorry.
No, they call him Vlad Tepes. We call him Vlad the Impaler. They call him Vlad Tepes.
Right.
I'm sure you Google it and find out what
so he was seen as a defender of Romania then, or hero,
absolutely. And he wasn't seen as it. He is seen as it.
Yeah,
he's revered nowadays. And it was he defended what is now Romania against the Ottoman Empire.
Right.
He's right up there. I mean, he's Michael Collins to them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I get it.
He went back to claim his dad's throne, and he took it for a very, very short time, and then he was fucking
deposed,
bunked out by nobles, the ones that assassinated his father.
Right. Yeah, so it's a coup, basically.
Yeah. So in 1448, and he was born in 1428, so he's barely 20. He attacked Wallachia and reclaimed the throne. Again, he was soon deposed, and had to seek refuge with the Turks. He only had a 2-month reign.
Right, and he's back with the Turks, who were the Ottomans, yeah? Who were his abusers. It's interesting.
It's all very politically fluid.
Yeah.
In 1456, he invaded for a second time with the help of the Hungarians. And this time it was successful.
So he took the throne back.
Yeah, and it's just, listen, I'm on a whistle-stop tour of the countryside, and I just want to see who wants to join me and my band of merry men in kicking their arses.
And the Hungarians.
Yeah, and he just recruited. He was on a recruitment drive. Yeah.
Cool. What did he do to his enemies, though? Where did he get his
name? We're getting there. Stop. Don't jump the gun. Slow your roll, buddy.
Okay.
During his second reign, he systematically killed the Wallachian nobles, who were called the Boyars, Boyars,
right,
to strengthen his position. So when he got back in, he fucking killed the shit out of everyone. He killed Transylvanian Saxons and ransacked their villages because they had previously supported the rivals to his throne.
Right. As I said, cleaning house.
Cleaning house. You went against me 3-4 years ago.
I'm not going to give you a chance to do that again.
It's death for you, buddy.
Yeah, well, I think it was more protecting his reign this time, saying anyone who I think
Oh yeah, 100%,
might be, you know,
100%.
a threat, it was gone. Now,
I
that's
did
it.
ages ago, but you know, I'm on your side this time. He's like, no, you're fucking not.
Fuck you, you're dead.
Yeah. In 1461, he restarted the war with the Ottoman Empire after refusing to pay homage and then executing Sultan Mehmed II's envoys.
Envoy, yeah.
When I was reading it, it made me think of, have you seen 300?
Yeah, a long time ago, yeah.
But you know the part where the Persian envoys get to this thing and he ends up going, this is Sparta, and he boots them into a fucking pit and whatever.
Yeah.
But it's envoys much like that. Came and we
and they
need
sent
you
them back
to,
without their heads.
doff your cap, bare your head. While he was on prison detail in one of his fucking whatevers, he was captured. Because he was always getting captured.
He just captured an awful lot, didn't he?
You know, I'm not saying nothing bad about him in case he comes back to get me. His methods of torture, he started to become famous for. They began to emerge, so people started to talk about it, okay?
Right, okay.
He didn't invent impalement.
No,
it's been around for centuries and a lot of people use it. He's infamous for it because of his love for it.
Yeah.
And he
his
used
proclivity for it, yeah.
Punished everybody. Yeah. He punished captured armies and he punished the people who fraternized with those armies that came in. So it was like, we're going to fucking come into this town and we're going to go to the tavern and we're going to fucking drink it dry and all that kind of thing. Yeah. Everybody in the tavern was fucking impaled. Right?
And then when he impaled them, he would put them on display outside the castle, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, like he didn't. It wasn't
like,
a private viewing. No. It was for everyone to fucking see. Yeah. And he didn't just impale. Like he impaled everybody for everything. Yeah. He impaled for adultery.
Right.
You know, he would.
It was just his. It was his go-to punishment.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You stole a loaf of bread, impalement.
Yep.
You murdered your firstborn, impalement.
Shoelaces untied, impalement.
Yeah.
For adultery, he'd get the adulterer.
Right.
And the adulteress.
The woman and the man.
Let's say it's me. I'm the one that does adultery on my spouse. And I pick this girl over here and she picks me and we have this little fucking thing going on. I get caught and he impales me.
And her.
And then he impales her on top of my impalement spike.
Lovely.
He impaled the adulterer and adulteress, whichever way you want to put it, or the adulteress and adulterer, on the same fucking spike. So one had to wait for the other one to slide slowly down this thing and die, and then get popped right on top of it like a fucking cork in a bottle.
Jeez.
Fucking messed. Yeah.
See, this is the bit I don't get, right? And you know, and I'm sure you're getting to it. I'm sure you are going to get to it. What the fuck has impalement got to do with Dracula? Like, I get the bloodlust and I get the Annie's account and Vladimir and Vlad Dracula and I get all that, but where is the impalement in the Dracula story? I don't.
This is what I was saying about earlier on at the beginning about there being just too many things for anyone to say, well, that's not the inspiration. That's clearly not where it came from.
Yeah.
Because the impalement, maybe that was twisted and it became the stake to drive through the vampire's heart.
Okay, so so the only way to kill him is to impale
him. There were loads of little things.
Yeah, or maybe
can be seen to have inspired.
Yeah, maybe impalement was a little bit too much for Victorian sensibilities when Stoker wrote the book. Yeah,
possibly.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we're not going to know exactly what was and wasn't too much until we read Bram Stoker's new book that you sent me a link on.
Yeah,
gibbeting, because gibbeting was a fucking horrendous form of torture. You know what gibbeting was?
No.
Gibbeting was putting somebody on display outside a town, cross a road into the village.
Yeah.
And they're you know, you'd see it in medieval films, and they're up on, it's like something that you'd hang a convict on, but it's a cage.
Yes.
And there's a decomposing skeleton in it.
Yeah, like Mad Martic in Willow.
That was gibbeting.
Where he meets Mad Martic and he's in the cage waiting to starve to death. Yeah,
that's gibbeting.
Oh, okay, right.
So, you know, what were the sensibilities? That's me fucking.
I know, but it's not quite anal impalement, though, is it? You
know? Yeah, that's pretty dark. Like, that's the worst form of fucking torture, and I'm sure there is worse.
No, there really can't be.
We'll go through that in a minute. But okay, I'm not sure where I've said it to you yet, but he started a war again with Sultan Mehmed II.
Yeah.
Okay, And Sultan Mehmed II, who was also a fucking lunatic, had sacked Constantinople.
Right.
And
It's
had...
modern day Istanbul.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fantastic song. Go and look it up. Istanbul, not Constantinople. It's
Who's
really
that
good.
boy?
They Might Be Joints. It's
Giants.
deadly. It's really good. I'll play it for you after.
Okay.
And he totally fucking destroyed the Byzantine Empire as well. So this Sultan Mehmed II was no pushover. And this was all at the age of 20 or thereabouts.
Right,
you know,
okay,
so
yeah.
similar ages, similar attitudes towards fucking humanitarianism and all that kind of stuff. So he mustered an army of about 90,000 to march on Vlad the Impaler, I suppose we call him now. His army of 30,000 untrained soldiers, farmers with spears and all that kind
People's
of shit.
army
right?
kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah. And he was going to rout them once and for all. This is the fucking end of this shit. I've had enough of your monkeying around.
Enough of this fucker.
You're out.
That's
okay?
It. Yeah.
As he marched on Vlad the Impaler, he came across 20,000 Ottoman soldiers who'd been killed or captured, who were mounted and impaled on stakes. And the Sultan, it was left for the Sultan to find. This is the way they're going to march in, lads.
Yeah, so
and they prop them all
show
up
them
there.
what's going to happen.
Fucking fields of them.
Yeah.
Right? And the Sultan, so horrified, declared, and it's quoted, I cannot take a country from a man capable of such things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How do you stop 100,000 people dead in their tracks and march them the other way?
Lads, get the fuck out of here.
I'm not even laughing at the fact that he did it. It's horrific.
Yeah, it's horrific,
fucking
but
horrendous.
it's fucking effective.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go to a war with a guy that had the potential to fucking do that to me. No thanks.
Historians state that Vlad often tried tactics that would destroy an army, not defeat them.
Yeah.
He'd destroy them.
Mentally, physically, and fucking,
Yeah, we talked about in Werewolves that werewolves were quite possibly just serial killers who'd been given this title because the crimes were so fucking horrific.
Yeah.
This guy was fucking horrific. This is horrendous. He'd poison wells. He'd torch crops. He sent people who were sick to infiltrate other armies, other towns,
and make them sick,
to spread that illness. Like there was nothing this guy wouldn't try, apparently.
Some would say tactical genius.
Yeah, is that not why we have the Geneva Convention?
Yeah, true enough.
Yeah. He also tried other forms of torture / punishment because it was just one size fits all for fucking everybody.
Yeah, everyone gets impaled. Bye-bye.
Which included skinning victims, which we talked about in Werewolves.
Yeah.
Boiling them alive.
Which we see in Shogun, when we were talking about Shogun there. In our Ninja Shogun episode.
Yeah. And I mean, there's all down through history, there's loads of fucking that. There was decapitation, bone breaking, and disembowelment, which is
lovely.
Which is exactly that. Lovely in a very disturbed take on the word. But it's not something we wouldn't have seen in home drawn and quarter.
Europe
medieval England, medieval Europe, medieval fucking wherever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
He kind of.
I suppose it's because
he used all them and then went. It's not quite getting. It's not scratching the itch.
Yeah,
how do I take it up a level?
I've eaten dinner, but I feel hungry.
Yeah,
that kind of
take it up a level. Like, how could I really?
How do we crank this?
How
up
do I really fuck with people's heads? Yeah. So let's stick a giant stake up their arse. Yeah, lovely.
As I said, he also used impalement as a form of punishment for adultery, but I didn't say. He also used it as a form of punishment for crimes of baby killing.
Okay, well, fair enough.
I mean,
I've had it.
I actually went, fuck them. Yeah. Because if you're going to kill a baby, fuck you, buddy. Yeah. That kind of crack.
Yeah, definitely.
As I said, it required in adultery both of them to be impaled on the same.
Point.
So someone had to be, either they got someone and fucking
pulled them down,
put them on a stake and pulled them down so it went up through the body, but that would kill them quick.
Yeah.
And then pop the other person on top. Or they let gravity do its thing. And then
the
other person was imprisoned, knowing that this was the fate.
This is next from you. Yeah,
this is where your fate. This is where it is. So it's fucking mess.
Yeah, so it's fucking psychological warfare. Let's call it what it is, Dale. You know what I mean? He was a master of that. He was an evil, cruel bastard, but he was also a master of kind of the
It
fucking
wasn't
psychology
just...
of, you know, scaring the fucking living daylights out of your enemies, you know.
Which leads me nicely onto this.
Mm.
It said that in response to his political rivals' remarkings that there was too much homelessness and sick, impoverished people
Impaled them.
in Wallachia, that he summoned them all to a banquet and he fed them as much food and wine as they could want.
And then impaled them.
And then he locked the doors and burned the building to the ground.
This is the poor people or the...
This is the poor people.
Yeah.
This is
Well,
the
that's what
poor
I'm
people that the nobles were saying, well, there's too much of them and there's too much
Didn't know
of
whether
them.
you meant the nobles or the poor people.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Maybe he went and he fucking impaled the nobles.
Mm.
Because, I mean, who's going to be a political rival to this lunatic?
Absolute psychopath, yeah.
So, fucking hell. No doubt he was one of history's most notorious maniacs.
Yeah. But where's the vampire connection? That's what I'm not seeing here yet.
The bloodlust, the stakes, the fact that there's a wives' tale, and I'm not sure if it's fact or fiction, that he'd eat a meal surrounded by people that he'd just impaled that were writhing in fucking agony. And someone said, and he'd dip his bread in the blood, but I don't know how much I believe that.
Maybe. But that's,
his bloodlust.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you watch Bram Stoker's Dracula, you can see where the bloodlust came from. You really should watch it. It's and you're in a good week for it.
Yeah,
it's Halloween week.
Been meaning to watch it for ages.
Yeah,
just never
well,
got around. So yeah, no, I am gonna.
Now's the time.
I think I did see it years and years ago, but I don't think I finished it. Again, it's not really my thing. It's a period piece, and that's what's kept me away from watching it, is the whole period idea of it. But it's Gary Oldman as Dracula, and we're talking about Dracula, and I'm in the mood now, so I think I will watch it today.
He's brilliant. He's brilliant in it. It's just so dark in the story. Yeah. It's fucking.
And I mean, talking about Gary Oldman, I mean, is he a patch on Christopher Lee though? I mean,
you can't compare the two.
No, they're two very different
they're
Draculas.
From different times,
different take on it.
Yeah, they both have.
And I love those Hammer Draculas. Love them.
Which are really campy.
Yeah, they are, but that's, you know.
Which isn't something I love about them. That would make me go, oh, fucking hell, is there anything else on?
Yeah, they're cheesy as fuck. They are. But if you go into it knowing that, and you go in and saying, right, this is going to be cheesy as fuck. I mean, Christopher Lee's a scary fucker, you know?
Oh, he's great.
Yeah. I don't know whether we mentioned it in a previous episode as well. Do you know he's the inspiration for James Bond?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if we did mention it, but yes, I did know that.
He's in Fleming's first cousin.
Yeah.
And apparently he was in the OSS during the Second
World War. And we've also
War.
mentioned that I don't fucking like Ian Fleming.
Yeah, what was that all about? Actually, I never did.
I just don't like him. I don't like the early James Bond stories. The films I saw.
I really enjoyed them.
I don't like the actors.
Yeah, no, don't mind the films. Go read the books. They're very different. Bond is a ruthless. Like he's suave and he's
I'm looking for. It's
he's
the suave
and ruthless,
imperialist.
Yeah.
I don't like. That's what I don't like. Yeah. So that's not what I'm.
Oh yeah, I mean Fleming was very much born with a silver spoon. Like there's no question.
A royalist or something like that. That's not what I'm into.
Yeah.
So that's not what I'm going to watch or read.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. Yeah,
not going there. Yeah.
No, I love James Bond.
Yeah.
Which is weird as an Irish Republican, like, you know, for all the reasons you've just stated, like I should hate James Bond.
No, I don't like James Bond.
It's fantasy. But I remember reading some of the early Bonds as a young fella, and he's a hard-nosed bastard, James Bond. Like he's not a nice guy. He's not a nice guy in those books. He's a bit of a Vlad the Impaler.
No.
He's just cold-blooded.
The only person a bit like Vlad the Impaler is Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah. In fairness, we haven't had
the guy's in a category on his own.
We haven't had another Vlad. But anyway, there's another interesting thing about Christopher Lee, actually, which is ironic when we say he was the inspiration for James Bond. He's, to my knowledge, the only person in the 4 biggest movie franchises of all time.
You said that to me. Yeah.
I may have said this on another.
You did. I think you said it in Werewolves.
So I'm probably just fucking repeating. But anyway, he's in James Bond, he's in Lord of the Rings, he's in Star Wars, and he's in, what's the 4th one? Oh. Well, obviously the Hammer movies.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But so there you go.
Yeah.
And he lived to be 101, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Which is pretty impressive.
I don't know. I'm sure you could Google it in a second and you'd find out.
But anyway,
Vlad the Impaler died in battle in 1477. It's reported that he was decapitated and his head was sent to the Sultan in Constantinople as a trophy.
Lovely.
Hell of a fucking trophy to send somebody. Here.
Well, he fucking deserved it.
No, I'm not talking about Vlad the Impaler deserving it. He obviously fucking did. He was a lunatic. But Dad, Sultan, does a post delivery for you. They need you to sign it. Oh, nice one. Okay, and you get a box and you go, it's a fucking head. Nice.
Yeah, it's for like 7.
What's this shit dripping out of the box? Yeah. No.
It's interesting you see that. Yeah, fucking, have you seen the movie 7, yeah?
Yeah. Great movie.
That's kind of what you just fucking described there, yeah. But no, come here, listen, it makes total sense that he would have kept Vlad's head as a trophy. I mean, many had tried, many had fucking failed. You know? We got the bastard.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? I mean, I'm fucking surprised that the Americans didn't take Osama bin Laden's head home. Do you know what I mean? But, you know, fucking same kind of thing. Many have fucking tried, many have failed. We got the bastard, you know?
Yeah.
But, so I'm going to come out and say it. I think the links between Vlad the Impaler and Dracula are incredibly tenuous.
I can see why people would say...
Obviously, the name... Yes.
Yeah, no, but I can see why people would say, not really for
And
me.
I've always thought he was Vlad the Impaler. I always thought there was, you know, that... And I've heard that he was the inspiration. I don't think Stoker ever said. I mean, obviously, you know, there is the location, Transylvania, the castle.
The location, the name, the castle, the stakes.
I think that's very tenuous because
Not
he doesn't kill people with stakes. Only a stake can kill him.
Is that not a creative twist?
Maybe.
You know?
Maybe.
I mean, you don't... That doesn't
I think the
really
bloodlust is a bit tenuous. Unless...
No,
unless, as you say, Vlad was dipping his bread into the fucking blood of his victims. That's... Okay, that's, you know... That's up there with vampirism, you know?
No, that's not even what I'm thinking about when I say bloodlust. The fact that he just fucking butchered everybody.
Yeah. I know, but that wasn't Dracula's...
One size fits all punishment.
Yeah, I know, but that wasn't Dracula's raison d'etre, was it? He just needed blood to live. He drank blood to live. He wasn't necessarily...
But that's, you know, I think you're lining them too much.
Yeah,
you've got two categories in your head, and one says Vlad, and one says Dracula, and you're saying
I'm just
bloodlust.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how Stoker went from that, like, you know, reading...
That's what creativity is. That's why he was a writer.
And turning him into a fucking vampire. It's a hell of a leap, though, isn't it? It's a hell of a creative leap to create this undead...
Maybe he already had the idea of a vampire.
And then, and just
where's it going to be? How am I going to base this? And what's the background going to be?
Okay.
And what's the origin story? And what's their biography? How did they get to where they're getting? Because they say every good story, get your ending and work backwards.
Yeah,
and maybe that's what happened.
Yeah, so he starts with this paranormal creature and then gives him a backstory that's...
Unholy thing. And then said, okay. And maybe it's elements from everywhere.
Yeah.
And how can I use stakes in my story? And he put... Vlad the Impaler put his victims on stakes, and maybe that's how you kill a vampire.
That's how you kill him.
You know, that kind of way. So, so it's just creativity. For me, the links are more than obvious, but it's not everything. Because if it was everything, it
would just be Vlad the Impaler.
It wouldn't be a book about a vampire. It'd be a book about some psychopaths that fucking ransacked and killed in one go 20,000 people.
Yeah.
Ransacked everything.
And I have to give a shout out to Lisa at this point as well, now that I think of it. She's been to that castle.
Oh, has she? Wow.
Yeah.
Deadly.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
I'd love to
that
go.
would be fucking awesome, yeah. Yeah, Vlad Dracula's castle, yeah.
I think we mentioned the last voyage of the Demeter, didn't we?
Sounds familiar, Del.
We mentioned it in the last episode.
Yeah.
And we said we'll keep our powder dry for vampires.
Yeah.
The Demeter was the ship that carried Dracula's coffin to England from Transylvania. So I don't know if it was down to the Black Sea or fucking around the Med.
No spoilers, I'm going home to watch it. No spoilers, I'm going home to watch it.
I don't know where it's from. But it was released in 2023.
Which one? Oh, the ship.
The last voyage of the Demeter is a fucking film.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Andrei Ovidal is the director. And as we said, it was the ship that carried Dracula in his coffin and in if I remember Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula, the film, he had to be also in the soil from his homeland.
Oh.
Couldn't, like, there was a whole thing about that, I think.
Okay, that's
I remember
cool.
that.
That's
Anyway,
like that.
Demeter, is that not familiar to you?
The name is, yeah.
She's the Greek goddess of agriculture. It was her daughter, Persephone, that was taken to the underworld.
Right.
Do you remember that? Do you not remember that story?
No.
Oh, right. Okay. The story was Persephone was taken. God of the underworld was who? Hades. Persephone is sitting in a grassland with a stream going by with a water nymph.
Yeah, there's
and the earth
here,
cracks open and Hades jumps out
grabs
her and goes back and the earth seals shut. And the water nymph cried so much she turned herself into water and just floated away with the stream. Then Demeter came along to where Persephone had been and there was a field full of nothing. And she looked everywhere for her daughter and couldn't find her and was looking so far and so much. And she was so heartbroken that she was neglecting her duties. So there was famine and there was crop failure and all that kind of thing. And Zeus was saying, you need to fucking get back on task. She was saying, I'm not doing a thing until I find my daughter. And then one other god, and I don't know who it was, who felt sympathetic towards her, said, Zeus did a deal with Hades because they're fucking brothers, so he could take Persephone as his wife. So Demeter went to Zeus and she was like, fucking come here to me, yo.
Give her back.
And she was like, nothing's going to happen until she comes back to me. So there's going to be famine, there's going to be nothing, there's going to be no people, they're going to die, they're not going to worship the gods. We're just going to fade into obscurity or something like that, right? And he says she can't come back now because while Persephone was in the underworld, she was starving and she refused to eat. She refused to do anything Hades wanted.
And she's dead.
And she was so hungry while she was out walking the underworld one day, she ate a couple of seeds from a pomegranate. And that bound her to the underworld forever because she ate something.
Oh, if you eat something in the underworld,
yeah. And so she couldn't come back. And Zeus was like, this is a no-go because XYZ. And Demeter says, well, crops and agriculture are a no-go because XYZ. And they came to the concession that Persephone can come back, but she must go back to the underworld every year. And she must go back for 3 months. And that's winter.
Yeah.
That was the story. So that's me going on to the last voyage of Demeter and what Demeter is. She was the goddess of agriculture. And that was her kicking ass.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Oh, it's brilliant. It's in some episode somewhere we did. I can't remember which.
Don't remember that story, no, at all.
Oh, it's fascinating.
No, we've done loads of Greek stuff. I don't remember that one.
Greek stories are fascinating.
Yeah, no, I like that one actually. That was really good.
It's brilliant. No, it's really good.
Right, so Halloween movies, Del. What are we watching?
In no particular order. Well, the thing is, you can watch any fucking movie during Halloween week.
Yeah, I know, but
like you mentioned Seven. Seven is a great movie to watch during Halloween. It's dark and it's disturbing. And if you're just looking for a Halloween movie, then have you seen 30 Days of Night?
No.
30 Days of Night is about a town in Alaska so far north that when the sun sets, it sets for a month.
Right.
And when it sets for a month, vampires come out.
Okay. And
it's a great movie. It's a deadly movie.
I add it to my list.
Yeah. Lost Boys?
I can't watch that movie. On a true story, right? I watched that movie when I was a kid. Haven't been able to eat in the dark since. You know, the bit where the popcorn turns into maggots?
That's not.
Can't eat in the dark.
That's not the Lost Boys.
It is the Lost Boys.
No, it's not.
It is.
Is it?
They're eating in the cinema. Popcorn turns into maggots.
Yeah, but that's not my takeaway from that film at all.
That's the only piece I fucking remember. And I cannot forget it. Every time I try to eat in the fucking dark, I think I'm eating maggots. From that day to this.
Okay. So don't eat popcorn in the dark. Problem solved.
Can't eat anything in the dark, though. Anything. Haven't been able to. Ever. So no, not watching that movie again.
I've got Interview with a Vampire here, but it's asterisked.
Yeah, it's
asterisked because there's the caveat that we went through earlier.
Yeah, it's not a Halloween movie. It's not a scary movie.
It's not that. It's
such a good idea.
It's not that it needs to be scary.
It's such a good idea, but
dark
it's
and disturbing, and it's too stuck on the period drama part of it too much.
Yeah.
Didn't like it.
It's what they would call gothic horror.
Didn't like
it's not even that.
Let the right one in.
Oh yeah, now
It's a
that's
great
supposed to be
movie.
very good. That's vampire.
Have
isn't
you
it?
not seen it?
No.
Oh, it's fucking
See
deadly.
again, I said this is not my genre. Like,
Yeah.
it's just not.
Let the right one in. It's about a kid, a boy getting bullied at school.
Right.
And he has no friends, obviously, because he's getting bullied.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
The usual.
And he makes friends with a young girl. I think it's a girl next door or something like that.
And she's a vampire.
And she's a vampire.
Oh,
And she takes care of his bullies.
right.
But it's just a great film.
And it kind of plays on the whole thing of a vampire can't come in unless you invite, isn't it? Let the right one in.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You're safe in your home unless you invite a vampire in.
Yeah, he can't.
Which is also a lesson from the Lost Boys.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think actually
The head vampire.
as
Like,
well,
I'm not giving it, it's 1988 or something like that.
Yeah.
So the head vampire, the outfit that's dating the separated mom of two.
Don't remember.
Yeah.
Just remember maggots and popcorn.
He's dating her, comes to the house, and your man invites. They suspect the kid, the youngest fella, suspects that he's a vampire, and they give him lots of garlic. And at dinner, and she's like, "Just too much garlic in this," and they're waiting for his reaction. And he was like, "No, I love garlic." He's eating it, and they're going, "What?" And then they obviously offer him a look at crosses, or there's a cross on a wall, or
and
it's
he's
around
no
the kid's neck or something. I can't remember which. But he's like, "Oh no, I like that. It's nice." And then down through the film, because he didn't react the way a vampire should react to these things, he says, "Silly boy, don't you know you shouldn't invite the vampire into your house? You just lose all your power when you do." So none of that stuff works because they invited him in.
Oh,
yeah, so
right.
it's vague in my memory because it's so long since I've seen it. But I think
might be one to watch again. Like,
I
was being facetious when I said I wouldn't watch it again, but
it's deadly.
Yeah,
it's great.
It'll probably get me over my fear of eating in the dark, because that seems probably so ridiculous to an adult mind now. You know,
Bill is in it.
Who?
Bill from Bill and Ted.
Okay,
yeah, he's in it.
Kiefer Sutherland as well,
not,
obviously.
Yeah,
you
know, come on. Yeah, he's brilliant anyway. Nosferatu.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I have. I think I've seen it all. It's only a short, isn't it? It's a silent movie.
I can't remember.
Clearly. But
it's a silent movie.
Yeah.
1922, obviously.
I seem to remember watching it, but I think it's only about 20 minutes long. Something like that. But fucking freaky.
I don't think it's 20 minutes long, man.
I think it is.
I don't know.
Pretty sure. Like how do you tell a fucking 2-hour movie without fucking any words there, you know?
Well, they all did it. I mean, you didn't get sound of movies until the 30s.
I know, but I think movies back then were pretty short, though. That's what I'm saying to you. I think silent movies were pretty short. They were more scenes than movies.
I don't know that it was that short, but I'm sure it wasn't the fucking marathon that movies are nowadays.
Yeah. I do remember seeing it. It was fucking freakish. Really freaky looking bastard.
2 hours.
Is
12.
it?
No, sorry, I have it wrong. It was remade in 2024.
Ah, yeah, that's a remake.
Yeah, that was 2 hours, 12 minutes. It's a silent German film, and I can't find how long the fucking thing was.
I'm pretty sure that it's a short anyway, or seems to be my memory of that. Yeah, it didn't last too long.
I've got running time here of between 63 and 94 minutes, depending on the version and transfers.
Okay, well, maybe it was the hour I watched it then. That's weird for a silent movie, though. I just can't imagine watching a silent movie for an hour.
But it was called Nosferatu, and the vampire that Max Schreck played was called Count Orloff, I think,
yes,
or something like that, because they couldn't get the rights to make Dracula.
Okay.
So they called it something else.
Right. So it is the Dracula story then?
It is, yeah. I know it very obviously is, even if they say it's not.
Yeah.
But it's...
And then didn't Stephen King do something with it as well?
Creepy. I don't know.
There's NOS, N-O-S 4, like number 4, or 2.
No. That doesn't sound something that Stephen King
actually, no, I'm sorry. It wasn't Stephen King. It was his son, Joe Hill. It was a book, and it's an Amazon TV series. But it's NOS 4 or 2.
Okay, I'm Googling the shit out of that right now.
Do.
I don't date you. So we've got something. NOS for A2 is an American supernatural horror based on the television series based on the 2013 novel of the same name by Joe Hill, which ran on AMC June 2nd, 2019 to August 23rd, 2020. And it got 6.7 out of 10
and as they would say in
IMDb.
Yeah, as they would say in Maine, where Stephen King is from, it's garbage. Hot garbage.
It looks garbage.
It is.
Yeah. It's fucking awful. So Nosferatu, they couldn't get the rights to Dracula, so
Nice,
they
so they
can't
done that.
call him something different, called it something different.
Cool.
It's so fucking creepy.
Deadly.
It's so creepy.
Now, I'm more kind of old school when it comes to the movie, so I love Dracula with Christopher Lee, obviously. The original
Well, that is old
Frankenstein.
school. That's 1922.
I know it. No, I'm just saying you were talking about, some of your movies there, but yeah, I'm very much the older stuff. But you know what is the scariest fucking movie I've ever seen?
What?
The Exorcist Part 3.
Yeah, you were saying that to me
Fucking-
the other day, and I'm
that
saying
is one
I don't
fucked
go
up
in
movie.
for
It's one
second and
fucked up movie.
thirds.
Yeah, like the Exorcist Part 2 was a very different movie to The Exorcist. And it's a fucking terrible movie. It's a fucking awful movie. Whereas The Exorcist 3 is a direct sequel to The Exorcist, and it is fucking scary. It's kind of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest meets the fucking Exorcist.
Yeah.
It's when the fucking priest goes out the window at the end of The Exorcist, he takes the demon into himself and jumps out the window.
Yeah.
He didn't die, and he's in a mental institute.
Okay.
And he's still possessed. And it's
okay.
fucked
Right.
up, man. It's seriously fucking scary. But so that's probably my kind of scariest movie. I do love the cheesy ones as well, though. I love Christopher Lee.
Okay, I said it was Count Orloff.
Yeah.
The image I had in my head when I was saying that was Jim Carrey in, what was that fucking film?
Oh, I know where you're going with this. Not
It was a series of unfortunate
Oh,
events. Yeah.
Lemony
Remember that film?
Snicket.
Lemony
Lemony
Snicket.
Snicket,
Yeah.
yes, Count
That was
Orloff,
the image
yes.
I had in my head, and I wasn't sure about it. And I'm right. The Jim Carrey, his character in that film was called Count Olaf.
Yeah. Yes.
Count Orlok. I
Orlok.
said Orloff.
Yeah.
Count Orlok was
is
the guy.
Nosferatu.
The guy in Nosferatu. Yeah.
Yes, that
And
sounds right.
it's a fucking supremely freaky character.
Oh yeah.
It's horrible.
I'm
I'm showing Paul a picture of it now.
I've seen him.
I
I
know,
know,
but
yeah.
it's so fucking dark.
Yeah.
Like, and when he walks, he's skinny and gangly, and he's long.
What he actually
fucking
reminds you
fingers.
of a
It's
little
disgusting.
bit is the Romulans in the later Star Trek stuff. So fucking Nero stuff has that kind of fucking pointy, fangy, pointy ear, baldy, fucked up looking, scary fuckers. Yeah.
I never associated the two. And I
Yeah.
do know what you're talking about, but I never geez, they look like Nosferatu.
Yeah, they have that
No,
kind of
not to me.
pointy,
They didn't,
sharp,
no.
fucking.
Have you ever seen Blade?
Yes, many years ago. Again, not a fucking fan.
Me either.
Not a fan of vampire stuff, really. I like the classics.
It's when you said I'm not a fucking fan, and I jumped in and said me either. I wasn't talking about the whole vampire angle.
Yeah.
I just think it's a garbage movie.
I think what it is with me is I'm not a fan of vampires. I like Dracula. I think that's might be my thing. I like the Dracula story. I like the origin. I like the
I like the origins.
and the fact that
for
it's-
me are really
and the fact that it's
disturbing.
fucking Bram Stoker and he's Irish and we gave the fucking word Dracula and I fucking love that. Yeah, I think I'm just more into the Dracula story. I could take or leave any other vampire.
Don't fucking leave out Frankenstein.
I like Frankenstein.
I mean, we're only doing 3 things for this Halloween, but there's always Frankenstein.
Yeah, do you know what?
But my point is, wasn't that written by an Irish woman?
No, Mary Shelley. She
Mary
Irish.
Shelley? I don't know. I thought she was.
No, she was English upper class, wasn't she?
I don't know.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm
Maybe I'm
going to
wrong.
Google the shit out of that as well. We're
But,
learning a bunch of new things today.
Yeah, I mean, come here, listen, the iconic Boris Karloff fucking Frankenstein is obviously, right up there on any list. But again, I don't know.
Did you see Blade 2? Blade 2 was better than Blade 1.
I know the cat from Red Dwarf is in it. So I know.
I don't know. But that was,
Danny John Jones.
I think that was directed by Guillermo del Toro, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And there's
I
a new
like him
one coming
sometimes.
out too,
I
isn't
didn't
there?
like Pan's Labyrinth, and I didn't like the
Yeah,
second
I didn't.
Hellboy film.
Oh, Hellboy was awful.
Yeah.
Used to put it on to go to sleep. No, seriously, it was a thing. Like, that's Lisa to tell you. Like, I tried to watch it so many times and I'd fall asleep within 15, 20 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
it's just one of those. Like, I'm trying to think what other movies I like that are. The Omens. The original Omens, pretty fucking good.
That was
And,
deadly. The original Omen was great.
Yeah. The last one, the very last one with Sam Neill comes back as the Antichrist.
No, never seen it. No.
He's like an adult Damien.
Yeah, you're sorry
And-
to drag you off this.
Yeah.
Mary Shelley was English. I thought she was
Yeah.
Irish, but yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that, Mary.
No worries. Yeah, fucking Sam Neill as the adult Damien, and I think there's a a woman Christ. And it's literally like a battle between the Antichrist and Christ. Like, you know, the fucking second coming. But it's a fucking freaky movie. Like, it sounds garbage when I say it like that. Like, but no, it's fucking scary. Sam Neill is fucking scary. Really fucking scary.
Wouldn't be something that'd be high up on my list of things to watch.
I bought the box set on DVD many, many years ago, so I watched them all, and I have to say it freaked me out.
But
More than the first one.
The point I was making at the beginning of all this was it doesn't have to be a vampire, werewolf, Frankenstein, zombie, ghost story. There's actually a film called Ghost Story. Have you seen it?
No.
Ghost Story is fucking great. It's really simple. It's really basic. And it's about this guy dies and he comes back as a ghost, but he literally is a sheet over his head. And you laugh at it and you go, what the fuck is this? But it's great. And it's so well done. And they're around until they solve a problem that's keeping them around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's with their loved one until they cross that bridge, until they forge that river.
Yeah, it's like Ghost of Patrick Swayze.
Inverted commas. Ghost, that's fucking terrible. But again, if that's the film you watch on Halloween week, that's your film.
That's your film.
You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be.
It's a good love story. It's still a better love story than Twilight.
Yeah. Anything is.
Yeah.
My love story is about it, and I haven't got one. Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes, Logan loves that movie.
What a film.
Feed me Seymour. Yeah. Are we talking about the remake or the original now?
I'm not interested in a remake.
The remake is one with fucking Rick Moranis. And
what's the first one then?
It's all black and white.
Oh, I didn't see it. It's all black. I'm talking about Rick Moranis.
Yeah. No, the original's black and white.
Brilliant. We spoke about it in the last one. Nightmare Before Christmas is great.
Coraline. I've ever seen it. Coraline that's a dark,
really
fucking
dark
movie.
Yeah, I know someone who texts me, him and his wife brought their kid to see Coraline in the cinema. And when I say kid, he was 4, 5.
My kids loved
text me afterwards and said, "Fucking hell! I took blah 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 to see this
new cartoon,
and we went to see Coraline, and he's like, it's really dark." And I was like, "Why didn't you fucking text me and ask me? That's not a film for kids. It's really
not. Like, it's animated and it's marketed like, you know, fucking are fairly young kids, but it's fucking Neil Gaiman. So I mean, I love it's Laika Studios. It's the guys that did Kubo, which is another film that you can watch on Halloween week. Sorry, what was that?
Kubo and the Two Strings.
Oh right, yeah.
Love that fucking film. It's brilliant.
Yeah, deadly.
The Corpse Bride.
Yeah.
Tim Burton.
Seen that in the cinema.
Nightmare Before Christmas. Tim Burton.
Anything by Tim Burton.
Yeah,
you know?
It is fantastic.
Yeah. Actually, there's one for you. Batman Returns, Halloween or Christmas.
Which Batman Returns are you talking about?
The one with fucking Michael Keaton.
No,
fucking Danny DeVito.
Neither. None of them.
Why?
I'm not into that movie at all.
No.
Oh God, no.
The fucking Tim Burton Batmans.
No.
Seriously.
Don't like them at all. No.
Oh, dude.
They're fucking terrible.
No, they're the best Batman movies, man. Fucking by a mile.
They're awful. They're awful.
Are we talking the same thing here?
Yeah, they're just handy coated. I just don't like them.
No, the later ones.
No.
Fucking George Clooney and Brad Pitt are not.
Yeah, they're shite.
They're garbage. Michael Keaton's the definitive Batman. Ask anyone. Michael Keaton is the
Don't ask me.
definitive.
No.
Jack Nicholson is the Joker.
It's great.
Like,
he's brilliant. But no, it's just not. It's not something I'm into.
Okay, that's really weird. I thought you'd love that because it's fucking Tim Burton and it's gothic and it's campy and it's fucking
Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yes,
that's moved for Halloween.
Yes, actually, all the Ghostbusters.
Have you seen Us?
Us? No.
Oh Jesus, gotta watch Us.
Yeah. What's that quiet thing that everyone's mad about at the moment?
A Quiet Place.
That's probably the one. Yeah.
That's savage.
That's the one where aliens and they hear you're dead or something, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's not
a movie.
It's not they turn up. See, I can't tell you anything about it, or I'm defeating the purpose.
Yeah, and don't spoil it for
for anybody listening, because I'm defeating the purpose of what John Krasinski was trying to build by telling the story the way he did.
Yeah, right. Okay.
You walk in and you are basically at the level of knowledge that the people in the film are at.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get you.
And
I like movies like that.
What the fuck is going on here? The same way they are. You learn the same things they learn at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's
like one of the really easy ways of doing that in filmmaking is just something that just kind of popped into my head now. Do you ever watch a movie where it's fucking subtitled, and then you have a character who doesn't speak that language? When he's present, there's no subtitles.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know what's
really
going
clever,
on, and neither does the audience. That's, yeah.
There's also a great transition in The Hunt for Red October.
Yes.
You know, the part with the government fella.
Yeah.
And
Russian.
Ramius, the captain of the boat Red October.
Yeah.
And they're talking Russian in his ready room.
Yeah.
And
it
zooms as your man's quoting from the Bible and reading it in Russian, he zooms in, the camera zooms into his mouth.
Yeah.
And then he just switches to English and it zooms back out, and the rest of the film is in English.
Yeah.
And it's
really
great.
Clever.
It's really clever. It's really well done. It's brilliant. But that's a movie for Halloween.
What, The Hunt for Red October?
If that's what you want.
Oh, yeah, no, of course. Jeez, come on, like, stay on genre, will you, for fuck's sake?
Casper.
Oh, God, no.
A film about
a dead child.
A child who died at a very young age.
Yeah, no.
There's nothing redeeming about Casper at all.
No, I just don't like those movies.
The Others, with Nicole Kidman.
What a fucking terrible movie.
What a great movie.
No.
I really liked it.
Garbage. Now,
there's a great twist at the end.
There's a book by James Herbert with the same name, which no relation to the movie in any way, shape or form. That's a fucking incredible book. And we'll talk about it sometime. I'm not going to go into it now because I'll fucking wax lyrical about it. It's basically, I'll give you a fucking rough premise. It's basically Errol Flynn or Clark Gable or one of those kind of 1920s Hollywood heartthrobs, yeah?
Yeah.
He dies and he goes to hell because he's just been, he's a narcissistic prick all his life. So he goes to fucking hell. And he's in hell for, in a cell for a certain number of times.
Hell in a cell?
Yeah, he's in a cell. In fucking
wrestling.
Hell, right? Yeah, I know, yeah. Right? For years, or for what feels like an eternity, an angel comes to him and gives him a chance to go back to Earth. But he has to go back as a deformed, hunchback, hideous-looking fucking creature. So
human
he goes
being?
back.
A human being?
Yeah, he's a human,
right,
but he's hideously fucking deformed.
Yeah,
he's hunchback and... So he goes back anyway, and he fucking sets up a private investigation company. This hideous fucking hunchback creature sets up a private investigation company in small town England somewhere, and he's pissed upon and shit upon all his life because how he looks and all that, yeah. But eventually this woman comes to him looking for. At first he thinks she's a bit fucking loopy. She thinks her child was taken at birth. He looks up the records, her child died at birth or whatever, but she's insisting no, the child didn't. She was taken by these fucking shadowy figures or whatever. So he eventually takes on the fucking case, and it's very paranormal and supernatural and stuff, but it's a fucking great book. Super book. Just nothing to do with the Nicole Kidman movie.
Nope. Which I really enjoyed. I enjoyed the twist in that.
Yeah. They were all dead.
Loved it. Yeah. Well done giving it away to anybody listening to this. Sorry, lads.
Yeah, it's like Bruce Willis in The Sixth Sense.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Do you know what? Yeah.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I'd love to go. They do it. Is it the Sugar Club in Leeson Street or somewhere do it? I think it's like every first Thursday of the month or something they do it. And it's full costume. You dress up, you dance, you fucking sing.
In the cinema?
Yeah.
I went to see it in the cinema in Rathmines with two of my friends, and I got dragged up on stage. That might be where it is,
Rathmines, actually. Is that where they do it?
I got dragged up on stage.
Yeah. That's where it is.
And we were doing the time warp.
And they've been doing that for fucking years.
Yeah, and it was fucking class.
Yeah.
And
first Thursday of every month or something.
I was dragged up on stage, and I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
They dragged
I'd imagine it's a big kind
and
of
they
gay
said
thing
it's
as well, is it?
They said
gay
it's
That's what's wrong with that.
We're doing time warp.
Yeah.
And it's just a jump to the left.
Right,
Then it's
step to the left.
And it's just a jump to the left. I jumped right.
You don't.
Oh, it was so embarrassing. Yeah, but we were in the audience, and the part where it's piss and rain, and they put newspapers over their heads in the movie, and they knock on the door and they're looking for shelter. Well, you all get handed out newspapers, or there's newspapers on your seat.
Water at you.
And no, but they didn't at us. And you put newspapers over your head at that point in the movie. My mate said, "Here, give me the newspapers," and he made hats for us. And it was 3 fucking idiots sitting there with paper hats on, and we were like, "You fucking bastard!"
Still, it's fun.
But yeah, it was great. It was very funny. It was very, very funny.
Yeah, no, I'd love to do it. I've never done it, but yeah, no, I'd love to do that.
Get Out.
Cool.
Have you seen Get Out?
No.
Jordan Peele, same director as us.
That's the. Is that the one I'm thinking of? It's the black
Yes.
couple and the racist or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Seen the ads for it and stuff. Never seen it. But
It's
seen the trailers.
really, really good and really disturbing.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah, so I believe.
fantastic. And again, I'm not saying anything about it. Have you seen Insidious?
No.
Insidious. And there's loads of movies. It became a fucking, what do you call it?
Fucking
franchise.
Franchise, yeah.
It became, but the first one I've seen was the best. And after that, I just didn't bother because I don't go into 2, 3, or 4. Paranormal Activity, and I'll finish on this. Paranormal Activity is fantastic.
It is very well done. It's very well done, but it's just such. I mean,
What?
fucking give me Poltergeist if I'm gonna watch something like that.
No, it's
Give me
great. Like,
Poltergeist.
it's so good, and it's
I
so
love Poltergeist.
low budget. They didn't
Yeah.
throw effects at it,
No.
and it was treated perfectly.
Yeah,
And
it's
it was
really
like,
well-
I was reading an article about the execs who'd made the movie were in watching one of the first public viewings of it, and people were leaving the theatre, and they were like, oh, fuck, what are we after doing? People are leaving. And they were leaving because it was too scary. Which
Yeah.
is great.
They
Like,
couldn't handle
have
it,
you not watched it?
Yeah, I have.
It's such a good movie.
I have watched
At the
it,
end of
yeah.
it, I was like, this is fucking amazing. And the
I
thing
thought
is,
it
it's
was.
not a poltergeist in the building. It's a poltergeist that haunts her.
Yeah,
There's no escape from it.
yeah.
It's fucked. I mean, the end of it is a bit fucking weird,
Yeah.
but
It's a long time now since I seen it, Jesus.
it's great. I loved it.
Anyway, happy Halloween.
Happy
Enjoy your
Halloween.
day. Enjoy your horror movies and your goodies and your trick-or-treating and robbing your kids' sweets.
Yeah, if
When they
you're
go to
going
bed.
out, knocking on doors, trick-or-treating, hope you enjoy it. Be safe.
Have a
Watch
good
out
night.
for fucking vampires. Hopefully
Slán.
there's no full moon.
And we'll see you in November.
See you later, lads.